Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. I get to enter the golden door, brains, here on the edge. The place where the conversation is pointed and the guests are sharp and the responses are never dull. And our guest today is Kimberly Shepherd. And her pronoun is she, her, they.
Yes, ma'am.
Mine is we, they, and ours. No controversy there. So how do you show up in the world, Kimberly Shepherd?
I show up as someone dedicated to young people. That is my passion, and it's a privilege.
Really? So when you say young, how young you talking? 45, 30?
13 to about 25-ish is my range.
Yeah, that 13 is such a tender age.
It is. It is.
It is. So what are you seeing now in the world of teenagers? You know, they're so into the devices. I just find it offensive. I just have to get downright ugly. Tell them to turn it off and put it away. I don't like that. I don't.
But it's their way of communicating. This is who they are. This is their generation. Okay. That's in the way that corded telephones back in our high school days were our way, or we wrote those little notes on lined paper to our friends and folded them up in fancy ways and stuffed them in the little vent in the locker.
Oh, I know. We did a little thing like this.
Yep. This is their way. Snapchat is their little folded piece of paper.
Yeah, well, it's dangerous because you are isolated. People can't watch what you do. I don't know. I'm a watcher.
Yeah, it connects them, though. They are connected there.
No, it's fine. They can connect, but what they do is they isolate me because I don't connect in the same way.
Yes, that is true. They don't want us there.
No, they don't know how to appreciate us there. And it's a lost art. It's like having class or, you can't buy that stuff.
No, but again, remember, I didn't ask my mother to read those notes that I gave to my friends either.
Yeah, but you wasn't doing it 24/7. Just, I don't know. It's different.
It is. It's a different time.
But I don't like it. I don't have to like it.
You don't. You don't.
I know. Because I was sitting with some young people, and one was sitting in the front seat, one was in the back, and this is how they were communicating, and it was such a turnoff. So anyway, and it's a lost art in parenting. Do I rule with an iron fist? No, but my daughter is 35 and I still demand excellence. Because if I don't think anybody else will. Now, I meet her where she is, and sometimes she be way left. I just steady myself. What do you say to that parent that's just got this child that's just, out there?
Well, I do two things. I want to know where that child's coming from, and I want to know where that parent's coming from and where they are meeting. So I work with parents. I actually do one-on-one parent counseling, and I do group parent counseling because parenting teens is not something we're well prepared for. We read 1,000 books before we have a baby and while we're pregnant. And, we're so concerned with doing everything just right when that baby is born. But we kind of get to age, 11, 12, 13, and we're like, oh my gosh, this baby isn't a baby anymore, and I don't know them, and I don't know what to do, and how do I not mess this up? And they're angry all the time, and they're yelling at me, and I yell back, and, and. So I kind of come in there and I say, hey, this is all normal. This is how this goes. But here's where you got to meet, as you said, meet your child where they are, and your child is no longer your baby. They'll always be your baby in some ways, but they are not a baby anymore.
No, once they hit that front door, girl, they belong to the world. I'm telling you.
And you've got to prepare them for that world and support them so that when they're out there.
Okay, but see, that's you talking in contradiction. If I can't communicate with you, if I can't show you, teach you, feel you, let you taste it, I can't teach you. That is my way of teaching.
Yeah.
We only have two purposes in this life, is to learn and to teach. Simple as that. Okay. But
Where does loving come in there?
Well, that's intertwined in there somewhere. And it's a lot to love. Okay? But love is reciprocal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm just still a little toughy on that. I like some talking, eating together,
Those are excellent things. Oh my gosh, there's so many ways to connect. I just was working with a parent about how to connect to, it was actually a father connecting to a daughter. And I talked to the father about a variety of things that they could do because they were feeling disconnected and their child was feeling disconnected from them. And, the relationship that they once had is different from the one they're currently having and the one they might like to have in, say, 5 years or 10 years. And we have to evolve with those things. And we've got to keep connecting with our kids. We can't do the same, I used to play Play-Doh with my daughter. She doesn't want to play Play-Doh with me anymore. But I can do other things, other ways of connecting with her creatively if that's her thing and if that's my thing. So it is a constant reconnection,
okay.
And that's important.
I know, but sometimes I just can't find the socket to connect. Where'd you get all your wisdom from, Kimberly?
A lifetime of working with young people. I've been working with teens since I was a teen, practically. So I started out manning a teen hotline in college for runaways. Wow. And I then after college, I became a social worker. I worked with adolescents in a psychiatric hospital for a number of years. And then I worked in college admission for a couple of decades. And I've been on my own in private practice now for 11 years.
Wow, you are doing the most. You are. All right, so let me dial back on some of the places that you've worked. Let's talk about these young college women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Call me old-fashioned if you like. But peeling the onion is sexy. When all you see is just the core, there's nothing there. And I say that about discretion. They had the March Madness. You don't walk down San Diego Street in a little string bikini and you're doing it to get attention.
Of course.
And so, do you think that colleges, because a couple girls got in some trouble, do you think colleges have a responsibility to monitor and be responsible for these frat houses and all of that, and the education and the public service announcements? Do you think the college has a responsibility to do that?
I do think colleges have a responsibility. They are, in most cases, housing and educating and feeding young people, young adults. And, they have a responsibility, no question. Now, that responsibility isn't the same as being a parent, of course. And I think that parents have to be very mindful of the fact that, when their child is on a college campus, they have a freedom they've never had before.
I know, they're getting turned up.
Yep.
They are getting turned up. All of their just
they're not going to their college advisor and saying, yeah, I don't know, like, how should I approach this, upcoming, Greek week or whatever it is. No, they're just leaning on their friends, and their friends are saying, yeah, we're doing this, we're going to drink, we're going to get high, we're going to, whatever we're going to do. And again, as a parent, you should still be in ongoing communication. I don't care if your child is 18 or 20 or 25.
Girl,
it's not
that is 35 and worried to piss out of me at 35 years old.
And the worry never ends.
No. Okay, let's dial back another layer. Mental health. Mental health is it's hard to detect. What is the level? Getting the cocktail right with the medication. Spiritually connecting. I got a girlfriend that told me that her son is cutting. Girl, it broke my apart
It's devastating.
into a million pieces. And she is like the super mom, and he's got some attention deficit
Disorder.
disorders.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a young man, and she's hanging in there with him. She is hanging in there with him. She's a soldier. So what do you say to those parents? How do we keep them encouraged?
So mental health, mental health is just as important, in some ways perhaps even more important than physical health. And think about it. How often do we get something on our body checked? We go to the dentist, we go to the eye doctor, we go to the regular doctor, we get, whatever. People have their feet checked, all kinds of things. But we don't have in our country a mental wellness checkup. And unfortunately, a lot of times that falls to parents. And so we have to kind of keep our finger on the pulse of our child's mental wellness, changes in behavior. So withdrawal, or being more, or all of a sudden they're partying all the time, they're seeing every friend they've ever known, when they were quieter before. That could be a sign of something shifting. Being very, very withdrawn, changes in sleeping habits, eating habits, any of these things.
Check their phone.
Absolutely.
I will do that.
Sure.
One time my daughter got out of line, girl, I had to take the door off the hinges.
And I think,
have a strategy. You don't have to put your hands on these kids, but you got to have a way to penetrate.
You do. And you have to be very aware. You can't just gloss over things, or because the problems that can beginning to build and they snowball, and by the time, if you're just kind of going, yeah, everything's okay, I'm just not going to really look too closely over there, things can be terrible by the time you put real eyes on them. So I always say, the constant communication, absolutely having specific check-ins. If you're not having regular family dinners, and I do like them, but they're not for everybody, I understand that. So then what, there has to be something. Are there car rides where there's no phones and you're having conversation? Are there regular, events of some type that you're doing, taking walks? I know a mother-daughter, and they have their regular evening walks, and they walk for a good hour and a half. That's excellent time to talk, because also it's an interesting thing. It's the same thing with being in the car. You're not looking at each other, and so some pressure is off. You're looking forward. It's just a little bit easier sometimes for young people to talk in that way than facing, eye to eye. So having that, you have to stay checked in, and you have to be aware. Absolutely. And when you see things, don't necessarily think it's all on you as a parent. There are so many resources. Our schools are full of resources. Our communities have resources. Get your child's pediatrician involved. There's no reason you don't have to be alone handling these massive problems with, depression, anxiety, other challenges. This isn't something to try to fix on your own.
Right, because you'd be doing too much.
Yeah.
Run away. I saw some young girls that were being human trafficked.
Yeah.
Over here by the soul food restaurant. I was sitting there looking out the window, and they was doing too much. I was there doing some work on my computer, about 3 hours. I was seeing a whole lot of activity. I went over to the councilwoman's office, which is across the street. I told her to handle that.
Yeah.
These gang members are putting them down, what they call on the blade, brains on the blade. They are getting more traction out of them than they could get out of any cocaine. You have these pedophiles. You have, children that are just abused for whatever reason, or sometimes they just want to be emancipated and leave.
Yeah.
What does the runaway look like? What do they look like now?
The challenge with the runaway is they can almost look like anything. And as a parent, by the point at which your child is on the run and just kind of in the wind, that's a dangerous place to be, because yes, you can report, you can go to the authorities, you can do all the things, but truly your resources in getting that child back are extremely limited. The best place to begin is long before then. Talk to your child about, listen, if it feels like it's so bad here that you can't stand another minute, What's an escape plan that we could both agree on? Is there an aunt or uncle? Is there a godparent? Is there a neighbor, a friend? Make an escape hatch for your child before they need an escape hatch, so that their option isn't just, I'm gonna go into the wind. I'm gonna be gone.
Wow.
And I know it sounds scary to think about those things, and it's scary to have to talk to our kids about pedophiles and human trafficking, but better that than they're out there innocently, at the store or somewhere, and
Just a victim.
yeah,
Education starts at home,
yes,
and it starts in early ages.
yes,
You teach them about your nose and your ears and your lips.
hmm
Well, you can say vagina and penis and anus.
yes,
They're not dirty words.
no, absolutely
And
not,
have a conversation that that you're worthy, that you're beautiful,
yes.
that you're special. When you add that aroma to it, that was a little Spengali my mother put on me, girl. I'm telling you, when I broke my virginity, I went home and told her it was just quite the event. It
Yeah,
wasn't like, and that was a beautiful, beautiful thing I could share with my mother. Everybody can't say that.
yeah, no,
Girl,
that's incredible.
you got the young girl now that's pregnant that can't even have a right to choose.
It's unbelievable.
Taking us back 100 years.
Oh my gosh, it's horrifying.
So what do you do for fun and recreation when you are not taking care of other folks' kids?
I spend a lot of time with my own daughter. I have a senior in high school, and we have a lot of fun together. I date. I have a special man in my life.
No, you don't, girl. Oh, what you said. Well, I can tell you he lights you up because you're just as giddy when you think about him.
He's a wonderful person.
I like that boyfriend kind of stage. That's what I call my husband sometimes.
It's very fun.
His code name is Mr. Magnificent because he.
I love that.
I've been married to him 38 years and he's adoring. What makes you light up just about your beau? What just makes you so happy about him?
I think we have a very playful, very silly relationship, and I really it's just such an ease and a lightness to it. I haven't experienced that in a long time. It's really great.
Well, that is really good. Now, how was that to introduce your daughter into a new man in your life?
So I've been divorced 7 years, and she has only met 2 people in that time, and she didn't like either of them. So they didn't last. And but she is very fond of my current beau. So we'll see. We're actually, the 3 of us are having dinner tonight.
Wow. Well, what do you say to the young girl that opposes that, and the mother that may not be kind of taking it in because it's a package deal at that point?
Yeah, it is. And I think I mean, we all make mistakes, and we all do things that are not, look back and we say, oh, I wish I'd done this differently or that. But one thing I can say that I'm really pleased that I did, and something I talk to people about a lot, is making sure your child knows that they are still number one for you always, that they will always be number one for you, that there's not any new person coming into your life isn't going to replace them or take their space, and that you'll always prioritize them and caring for them. I think when my daughter's father and I split, one of the things I said to her was, she was like, I don't, she was 9. So, her big concern was, am I going to have a stepfather or stepmother? And of course, at that moment, I mean, we were nothing about that. But I said to her, if in this future you have a stepfather or stepmother, just know that the more people that love you in this world, the better off you are. And your father or mother would never be involved with someone who wouldn't love you like we do. So, and I think that's the approach.
Yeah, that's very authentic,
And you can, as an adult, a single person, single parent dating, date all you like, but your child doesn't need to meet those people.
No.
You can go and you can do things and date and be out and,
I did an interview for Mother's Day, 2 young women, 2 young mothers, and she says, oh, I've got the 6-month rule. I said, they can behave till 6 months.
Yeah.
Month 7, they just come up out the ground. So
that's so true.
So you have to gradually introduce your child and let them know, hey, I'm going going on a date. This is the person. We've been on a couple dates. I might like them, and invite
Yes.
them to the conversation. Do you want to meet them? What have you?
Yeah.
With their friends.
Yep.
You know who their friends are.
Oh, absolutely.
Telltale sign. It's a telltale sign. Let's ask some fun questions of Kimberly Shepherd. You were a fruit. What fruit would you be?
I'd be a pineapple. I can be a little prickly.
Okay.
But I'm sweet inside.
Oh boy, I think I'd be a mango.
Mm.
Mango. If you were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be?
Oh, I would be my Vitamix. Powerhouse. Powerhouse.
And you can make it creamy, smooth. It can heat up.
Yep. I can make a soup. I can make anything.
I think I'd be the refrigerator.
So
I can just chill.
I love that.
If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why?
I think I'd probably be the animal that's my business logo, which is a winking owl. So I'm full of knowledge, but I'm cheeky about it.
Okay. Yeah, a Native American shaman, priestess, gave me 2 spirit animals, and one was an elephant and one was an owl.
Oh, wow.
I love it. So, girl, you're all adorned with all this. What's up with your look? I love that. Those glasses speak volumes, and that necklace. Pull your hair back. Let's see your necklace. That's gorgeous.
Oh, this is made for me by a local artist that I love. She makes button bracelets, and these are all Bakelite buttons that she made into a necklace. Isn't that gorgeous?
That is absolutely gorgeous. So jewelry makes you
I love jewelry. Yes.
I love jewelry too.
Yeah.
I love jewelry.
Especially unique things like something handmade or made special for me, or I love things like that.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
Oh, that's tough. I think you want to wish for peace in the world, right? Like you want to be that person, but I honestly, I very selfishly I would wish for an amazing life for my daughter. I think that would be my first wish, just a life filled with joy and health. That would be my big wish. I think that we would really, the old expression, or it was a tagline, no child left behind,
Right.
which kind of was really never true. If no child could really be left behind, if we could actually just bring all children along with us and support them through to adulthood fully, that would be another wish for me. And I think maybe a final wish would be that we all learn to appreciate where we are and what we have.
Wow. All right. Vanilla ice cream or Neapolitan?
Vanilla. Very good vanilla, though. Very good vanilla. I'm picky.
Rum or cognac?
Rum.
Mayonnaise or mustard?
Oh, both. It depends on the item. You can't put mayonnaise on a hot dog.
Wow. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
And you need mayonnaise for egg salad, which I love.
I know. Well,
But I put mustard in my egg salad, too.
Oh, I do too. Honey mustard.
Yeah.
Or Dijon. Speaking of
Yeah.
that, what's your best recipe?
Okay, so big secret, I don't cook. But the few things I do know how to make, one of them that's excellent is chicken enchiladas. Sour cream chicken enchiladas.
Oh boy, it's on the sauce. Well, you know what? You are spicy. You are wise. You're beautiful, and you got
thank
together.
you.
And thank you so much for being here with me on the Edge Brains. You got to check out Kimberly Shepherd. Okay, maybe she can help you and your kids.
I would love to.
Adjust, like I'm trying to adjust this picture because it's out of focus, and I'm telling you, it's a lot of stuff going on. Yes, I'm old school, But you know what? Didn't steer me wrong, but it's a combination because love transcends over time, generations, epigenetics, and pain and sorrow and all that other stuff. All we have is a little bit of time. So don't
Yeah.
spend it in chaos and conflict. Get with Kim. Get your stuff together. So I'm going to get in contact with you, Kimberly Shepherd.
KimberlyShepherd.com. Kimberly's traditional spelling, shepherd like the dog or the man with the sheep. KimberlyShepherd.com.
All right. Brains, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye, Kimberly.
Bye bye. Thank you.